For decades, whispers of a Russian doomsday device capable of launching nuclear war without human intervention have permeated popular culture, military analysis, and political discourse. Often dramatized under the nickname "dead hand," this concept conjures the image of an automated nuclear retaliation system that, once activated, ensures global destruction even if Russia's leadership is wiped out. It's the stuff of nightmares and Hollywood, but how much of it is true? This article examines the real nature of Russia's so-called dead hand, formerly known as the perimeter system. We'll explore its origins, capabilities, strategic purpose, and how it compares to Western nuclear command and control systems, particularly the United States. Ultimately, we aim to separate cinematic fiction from cold strategic reality. The term "dead hand" is not a Russian designation. It first entered public consciousness in the West during the late Cold War, especially after the publication of David E. Hoffman's Pulitzer Prize-winning book, The Dead Hand, 2009. In the book, Hoffman described a Soviet-era nuclear control mechanism designed to guarantee retaliation, even if the nation's leadership was obliterated by a decapitating first strike. The idea quickly gained traction in media and strategic circles. In the minds of many, this translated into a system that could independently detect a nuclear attack and launch missiles without any human involvement, a chilling, apocalyptic autopilot. The reality, however, is more complex and less fantastical. In Russian terminology, the system is called perimeter, or perimeter, and it was developed by the Soviet Union in the early 1980s during a period of extreme nuclear anxiety. At the time, Soviet leadership feared that a surprise U.S. first strike, especially one targeting command and control centers, could disable their ability to retaliate. Perimeter was conceived not as an automatic doomsday machine, but as an emergency backup communication system, one that would enable retaliation even if top leadership was dead or unable to respond. The system relies on the following components. Command missiles. If all communication lines are severed, a special missile can be launched to fly over Russian territory, broadcasting launch codes to strategic forces still able to respond. Sensor inputs. The system considers seismic, radiation, and radar data to determine if a nuclear attack is underway. Human activation. Contrary to myth, perimeter is not always active. It must be turned on by human command in times of heightened alert, and it requires explicit authorization for activation. Fail deadly assurance. Once turned on, if it detects certain catastrophic conditions, such as loss of all high command and confirmation of a nuclear strike, it may authorize a retaliatory launch, but still with pre-delegated human consent built into the chain. In short, perimeter is not a fully autonomous nuclear system. It's a fail-deadly redundancy, intended to ensure deterrence by guaranteeing a second strike capability, even under worst-case scenarios. The motivation for developing perimeter stemmed from a strategic fear deeply rooted in Cold War doctrine, the concept of a decapitation strike. In this scenario, a surprise nuclear first strike could wipe out national leadership and command structures before they had a chance to retaliate. U.S. advancements in precision-guided munitions, stealth technology, and ballistic missile accuracy during the 1970s and 1980s contributed to Soviet paranoia that they might lose the ability to issue retaliatory commands. Perimeter emerged as a solution to that problem, fulfilling a crucial strategic role. Deterrence stability. If an adversary believes a decapitation strike will be ineffective due to a guaranteed response, they are less likely to attempt it. Psychological signaling. Public knowledge of perimeter's existence further reinforces nuclear deterrence by adding a layer of perceived unpredictability and inevitability to any conflict. Interestingly, the Soviets did not even tell their field commanders about perimeter for many years, suggesting it was designed more for internal assurance than external posturing. Most analysts agree that some version of the perimeter system remains operational in modern Russia, albeit likely upgraded with contemporary technology. Russia has not officially confirmed the current status or capabilities of the system, but occasional hints suggest its continued use. In 2009, Colonel General Viktor Yesin, a former chief of staff of the Strategic Rocket Forces, stated that perimeter was still functioning. In 2011, retired General Sergei Karakayev confirmed to the press that the system existed and could be reactivated if needed. Russia's ongoing modernization of its nuclear triad, including command and control infrastructure, strongly implies that some variant of perimeter remains integrated into their strategic architecture. This question strikes at the heart of nuclear doctrine. On one hand, a backup system like perimeter may increase deterrence by reducing the incentive for a first strike. If there's no way to win a nuclear war by disabling your opponent's leadership, then nuclear war becomes even more unthinkable. However, there are serious concerns: false positives and accidents. The 1980s witnessed multiple close calls due to system errors, such as the 1983 Petrov incident. A semi-automated system that triggers launches based on seismic or radiation data could, in a worst-case scenario, misinterpret a natural disaster or technical malfunction as a nuclear attack. Ambiguity equals danger. Unlike the US, which maintains relatively transparent policies about nuclear command and control, Russia's strategic ambiguity about perimeter creates uncertainty. While this may serve deterrence, it also risks miscalculation by adversaries. Human in the loop. The fundamental safeguard in the U.S. nuclear posture is the principle of human in the loop, ensuring that every nuclear decision involves presidential authorization. Perimeter, in contrast, introduces the potential, however limited, for automated response if conditions meet specific criteria. This is viewed by many analysts as inherently destabilizing, particularly in times of crisis when tensions are high and information may be incomplete. The United States does not have an equivalent to perimeter. Its nuclear command and control system is built around robust redundancy, communication, and survivability, but it retains the essential requirement of human decision-making at every stage. The key differences are presidential authority. Only the president can authorize the use of nuclear weapons. Even if top leadership were eliminated, continuity of government plans are in place to pass that authority down the chain. No autonomous launch. The U.S. does not have any mechanism that can launch nuclear weapons without a deliberate human command. Emphasis on strategic ambiguity, not automation. U.S. policy relies more on credible readiness and rapid response than on automated retaliation. This distinction reflects differing philosophies. The U.S. emphasizes control and accountability. Russia, burdened by geography and strategic vulnerabilities, chose to prioritize survivability and retaliation under extreme conditions. The perimeter system has captured the imagination of filmmakers, authors, and video game developers alike. References to Dead Hand or similar concepts appear in War Games, 1983. Though based on a fictional U.S. system, the concept of automated Armageddon echoes perimeter's principles. Metal Gear Solid 5 features a storyline with a nuclear AI failsafe resembling Dead Hand mythology. Command & Conquer, Red Alert, gamifies Soviet superweapons, including automated retaliation systems. While these depictions exaggerate or distort the actual nature of perimeter, they highlight public fascination and fear of machines making nuclear decisions. The perimeter system is real, but it is not a buttonless apocalypse machine waiting for a tremor to end the world. It is, and always has been, a human-initiated failsafe designed to ensure Russia retains the ability to retaliate under catastrophic circumstances. However, even this limited autonomy introduces a sliver of uncertainty into nuclear deterrence, a sliver that becomes exponentially more dangerous during periods of rising global tension, misinformation, or technical failure. In the end, perimeter is a reflection of the darker logic of deterrence, ensuring peace not by trust, but by the mutual promise of obliteration. As technology advances and nuclear tensions resurface, The challenge for global security will be preserving the human hand at the helm, before the dead hand myth becomes something more.